So hello guys, welcome back to this new lecture, and in today's session we are going to discuss about the vulnerability analysis into deep. So let's discuss the what is the vulnerability analysis. The vulnerability analysis is the process of identifying and evaluating security weakness in an information system. It helps in understanding the risk associated with the identified vulnerabilities and prioritizing them for remediation. So there are some objective behind that. That is the main goal of vulnerability analysis is to detect the vulnerabilities before the attackers can exploit them, or thereby minimizing the potential for the security breaches. So what is the vulnerability? Vulnerability is also known as a problem in our simple language, we can say. uh, Suppose I will give you a example like if you are we can say the contractor, and there's the workers under the contractor, and there's the owner of the project, or we can say if the contractor gets the contract of building a wall, that's the waterproof wall, like the dam, and there's a leakage in the dam, but the owner don't know about the leakage, but the contractor and the workers know about it. So the leakage is a vulnerability in this project or in that assessment. So the contractor and worker should fix that vulnerability before knowing the attacker. This is how the thing is like. So if there's a vulnerability in the system, so the like white hat hackers or the we can say cybersecurity team, or the like there are some administrative peoples in the cybersecurity field, they should just fix them. Engineers should fix them before the attackers know that or hacker knows that. So if hacker will know that, he will try to attack the system with the help of that vulnerability. So this is the vulnerability. So there are some steps in vulnerability assessment, like preparation, like asset inventory, like identifying and catalog all the assets with the organization, including hardware, software, and some network components. There are some defined scope, like clear and define the scope of the analysis, including the system and the network to be tested. So the second step, that is discovery, like network scanning, used to scan the networks and discover all the active devices like open ports and the running services. So we had seen the with the help of Wireshark and the Nmap, how to check the open port and the open services on the target system or the network. So the service enumeration, so identify the services running on each discovered port and to understand the what software is in use. So we had also seen the uh, we had seen the there are some disks, open disk, shared disk, and the open users, and the many more things we had seen, like open ports in the enumeration and the nmap scanning. So the next step, that is vulnerability identification. Automated scanning, like used vulnerability scanners to automatically detect known vulnerabilities in system and application. I had provided you some tools related to vulnerability scanning and identification. You can check it out, or if you don't know what's the tool, you can just DM in the group. So there is also manual testing, like perform some manual test to identify the vulnerabilities that automated tools might miss, or such a logic flaws or complex configuration issues. Like there are some red hat hackers that are just testing the vulnerabilities that works under the government. They just test the vulnerabilities in the government softwares and the servers, and after that finding the vulnerabilities, they just tell the further engineers to fix them, or they also fix them. This also known as the forensics. So it might work as the digital forensics also. So let's see the another step, that is analysis and the risk management. So vulnerability classification, like classify the vulnerabilities based on their types, such as softwares, bugs, misconfiguration, or weak passwords. So, risk assessment that evaluates the risk associated with the each vulnerabilities by considering the factors like exploitability and impact and the presence of the migrating controls. The next step that is reporting, like prepare detailed reports that documents each identified vulnerability, including descriptions, potential impact, and the suggested recommendation or remediation steps. So the also check the like prioritization, like prioritize vulnerabilities based on the risk assessment to help focus remediation efforts on the most critical issues. The next step that is remediation, like patch management, apply some patches and updates to address software vulnerabilities. And the configuration changes like adjust the system and the network configuration to eliminate the vulnerabilities. Uh, Migration controls, like implement some additional security controls such as firewalls and or like detection systems to migrate the risk of vulnerabilities that can be immediately fixed. And the last step that is the validation, retesting, like perform follow-up scans and test to ensure that the vulnerabilities have been successfully remediated by the following engineer, or we can say continuous monitoring. Also establish some continuous monitoring to detect some malicious things or address new vulnerabilities as they arise. So there are some common tools for vulnerability analysis I have provided. You can check it out, like Nessus, OpenVAS, Qualys Guard, Rapid7, Inside VM, like Broop Suite. So these are the tools for the vulnerability analysis. You can check it out from there, and you can take the guide of PDF. There are some let's see the interpreting results and the remediation, like understanding the security levels. Like there are some four major security levels, like low, medium, high, and critical. So the vulnerabilities that poses minimal risk and often very less likely to be exploited, that is the low. And the vulnerabilities that can cause moderate impact and typically require more complex exploitation, that is known as medium level. And the vulnerabilities that have a significant impact but they may acquire some certain conditions to be exploited, that is the high level security. And the critical, that is the vulnerabilities that can lead to a complete compromise of the system, like immediate remediation that is required. So the next remediation, that is the remediation steps, like applying patches, reconfigure the system, and enhance the security controls. And the next step, that is the continuous improvement, like regularly scanning, training and awareness, and policy review. Like regularly review and update your security policies to reflect the latest threats and the industry standards. So, vulnerability analysis is a vital component of an organization's security strategy. By identifying and assessing and remedying the vulnerabilities, organization can significantly reduce the risk of security breaches. So, thank you for attending today's lecture, and I hope you have a comprehensive understanding of vulnerability analysis. So, thank you for watching.